Hi, this is Wes.
This is Ka'shenia.
And we would like to welcome you to
the Underground Geek Shack. I almost said Time Wizard.
I almost said Video Game Edition. I need this. There's something wrong with me.
We were in different mindsets. I was showing him a freaking short of Sayu, which will become relevant in this conversation. But just in my head, all it is Time Wizard. But how you been, Wes?
I've been good. Been good. I have a New Year's resolution that I'm slowly making progress on, which is for me to be less stressful.
Understandable.
Less stress on me because I'm not trying to freak the mess out.
Well, I mean, I would say hopefully today's anime would help with that, but
maybe for you. To me, I don't know. I might have to get up here in a minute.
Listen, man, this is entirely stressful. But before we get on to that, hey Wes,
yo,
you want to know something?
What do I want to know?
Time. No, I'm sorry. Let's rewind. I'm sorry. That was a blooper. All right, for real now. Hey Wes.
Hey.
You want to know something?
What do I want to know?
New year, new anime.
Who this?
Actually, technically, this is old anime. It's new to me, but it's actually like it's been out for a minute. But y'all, we're talking about
Hell's Paradise.
Hell's Paradise. This is not the first volume because Wesley was ill prepared.
Wrong. I went to my bookstore and I only found the second volume.
But I mean, he tried.
I tried my best. But Hell's Paradise, so most of you guys probably already know this, but Hell's Paradise came out with an anime, which is, 12 episodes long?
13.
13?
It's 13 episodes, yeah. They're starting to break down the seasonal format. Mm-hmm. I mean, My Hero Academia kind of did it first, where each half of a season was 13 episodes, because, each season's 26, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're
26 episodes,
yeah, so they're breaking down the whole 12 episode each season thing. It's a thing now, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
But this came out last year, and it took me until now to finally watch it, and I'm upset that it took me so long to finally watch this anime. So we're talking about the anime, but Wes here, tell us, Wes, how far are you in the manga?
As of now, your boy has completed the manga.
So wait,
I've read all of the manga.
So wait, the manga's finished?
The manga's finished.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
The manga's finished, and there was a one-shot that Yuji Kaku, who's the author of Hell's Paradise, had made, and I was like, I accidentally read the one-shot before reading the manga, and I was like, yo, wait, Hell's Paradise's author sat there and made a one-shot? Yo, let me read this first.
Is the one-shot just an offshoot story from Hell's Paradise, or is it a completely thing on its own?
It's kind of like an offshoot story.
Oh, so it is in the same realm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And
you know what? In my head, I'm just AVA.
I was like, like I said, I read the one shot before reading the manga. Yeah. And this was when the anime was slowly coming out. Okay. I decided, let me just read the one shot, and I was like, I got a leg up on everyone. Little did I know that the manga was already done.
The manga was like, dude, we've been done. We've been clear throughout this.
So I read the one shot, and I was like, all right. I kind of stopped halfway through. I didn't actually complete it. I read to a point.
Was it a long one shot?
I can't remember. It's probably somewhere in my Shonen Jump files, but
oh yeah. The mysterious file. It's just boy, how much manga have you read? You don't even know.
You don't want to know. It was the real thing.
But so there is a one shot, and I really do if it is related to Hell's Paradise, as I think it might be. I'm pretty sure an OVA is in the making.
Probably, but I do want to say this though, since your boy has already read all of the manga. Yeah. This is after I decided to watch the anime. Yeah. So while you were going through it, I was going through it emotionally.
He was going through it emotionally. He was like, I've read this.
And so I was sitting there reading it, and so I decided, usually when I sit here and read a manga, right, and it's based off of a running anime, usually I don't jump from, let me go back to, chapter 1 and read up to that point.
Yeah.
Most times I'm just like, I already seen all this anyway. I can just skip to this certain point.
Go.
So when it came to me reading Hell's Paradise, I was like, I'm not pulling that in right now.
You're going straight from chapter 1.
I'm going to go from chapter 1 to the end.
See, I kind of wish I would do that with My Hero Academia, but I mean, I'm so far into My Hero Academia with the anime, I'm just like, I can't relive the overhaul arc again. That freaking broke me emotionally with the anime. I can't go through it again with the manga. I can't do it. I can't see Muriel losing his powers again. Do you know how much mental therapy I had to go through just because Muriel lost his powers? Freaking Night Eye died. Dude, I can't live through that again.
But, so like when I was reading through the manga, and I was like, so I had in my head every episode that the anime had, all 13 episodes. So I'm sitting there, I'm reading it, and I'm like, okay, this was a good thing. This was. I was gonna say,
how many chapters of the manga was encompassed in the anime?
So, give me a second here. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah.
The chapter-wise, it covers from chapter 1 to chapter 45.
Okay.
And there are 127 chapters.
So, potentially, because this is how I'm thinking, because I feel like they are going to make all of Hell's Paradise into an anime, because I want to say the animation quality of this was actually really, really good. There were some good scenes, like when he was first using his ninjutsu to show it off to Sagiri. Sorry. When it comes to this anime, I'm don't worry. Really bad.
I wrote out some of the names just for the fact. I'm going to show you them right here.
Because, like, the one, I'm so good. Because here's the thing. Like, Sagiri, her name isn't said too much.
It's weird.
But you hear Gabimaru's name so many times.
And it's funny because, like, when you hear Sagiri, first you hear it in two ways. You hear Sagirin or Sagiri.
Yeah.
Or as,
Yuzuriha. As
Yuzuriha calls her.
Sagi!
I'm like, okay.
So, I mean, she goes by so many names, but I also know her as the Asaimon. And I tend to forget the Asaimon is the title. The last part is their name. But I hear it by the title so much that I'm just kind of like, okay, Asaimon. And I was like, no, idiot. That's not her name. That's the freaking title.
The school that they were at is called the Yamada Asaimon.
Yeah.
And so that's why each executioner is given the title of Yamada Asaimon and then their name.
Yeah.
So let's take Genji for an example, the big dude.
Yeah.
So it's Yamada Asaimon Genji. That's why she called him Genji Dono.
Yeah, sorry. I have feeling towards Genji Dono, and we'll go to that here in a little bit. Ooh, okay.
But,
the rage.
The rage?
No, but Gabimaru, because, he's Gabimaru the Hollow. But also just Gabimaru is so easy for me to remember, because it's such a unique name. I'm just like, okay, Gabimaru. For some reason, I can remember, when it comes to this anime, I have to say this is the one anime where it's so hard for me to remember people's names. Mm-hmm. Only because, like, they literally don't really say their names too much. Right. Chobe. Mm-hmm. His name was his name was said once. And that's during the elimination round in episode 2. And that's literally the only time I've heard him be called that. Because you want to know why? Every other time he's he's just called Big Brother because of his younger brother.
Because of Toma, yeah.
Toma. And he's just like, Toma. Like, I know Toma's name. But freaking, no. We never hear Chobe's name ever again.
Not gonna lie.
He's just called Big Brother.
There are times when I was reading the manga and Chobe and Toma showed up. And I'm like, who are you again?
Who are you again?
No, legit. Like, I'm sitting there, like, I'm reading it, right? I'm reading it, and I'm like, all right, I know this person. I know this person. I know this person. I know this person. I know Guntetsu-sai. I know him, the big dude.
And then Chobei shows up, and you just kind of like, Bakugo.
I see Chobei, and I'm like...
Bakugo.
No, at first I was like, who are you? Because Toma only calls him brother. Yep. And I'm like, okay, I get he's your brother, but at least call him by his name at least one time.
Never.
And then I'm like, dude, like, who the flip are you? And then one of the, like, someone else sits there and goes, oh, Chobei. And I'm like, finally, I know who you are.
Who are you? Because let me tell you, I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I watch too much My Hero Academia. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just because My Hero Academia is in the mind right now because, season 7 is going to be lit. But every time I saw Chobei, I'm just like, Bakugo.
Because the voice sounds like Bakugo.
Yes. If you listen to the English dub, which is what I watched this in.
Same.
If you watch it in the English dub, he sounds like Bakugo. The voice actor literally was just kind of like, this guy looks like Bakugo. I'm going to make him sound like Bakugo. I'm like, this is the worst mistake you could make because now I'm just going to be like, it's Bakugo. It's Bakugo. What's that guy's name? Bakugo. No, it's Chobei.
It's Chobei.
But also, I think it was one of the endings where, for My Hero Academia, mm-hmm. where everyone was put into a fantasy setting. Or is that one of the openings?
That's one of the openings.
Sorry, one of the openings. Where everybody's in a fantasy setting. And then you see, Warrior was like, I think he's called like the Warrior King Bakugo, whatever. Mm-hmm. That design of him matches Chobei's to like a T. And I'm just kind of like, nabbit, man. They really want, and I feel like the mangaka did it on purpose, man. He watched the opening, was just kind of like, I know how to design this character. And I'm just like, nabbit.
So would you believe me if I told you that Yuji Kaku was also an assistant
for My Hero?
No. Yuji Kaku was an assistant to Tatsuki Fujimoto, the guy who made Chainsaw Man.
You know what? That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen Chainsaw Man, but Chainsaw Man is so much in my mind because it's so different.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see if there was any ways that he implemented that into this, and I want to say, because Chainsaw Man was revolutionary. Like, it's so anti-shonen that it's so crazy it's a shonen. Because, we have the least shonen-like protagonist, where he's not trying to be uplifting. He's not trying to... Like, we've talked about this in our Chainsaw episode, where Denji is the most anti-shonen protagonist. Yeah. The guy who's supposed to be Aki, yeah. Aki, who's like the pinnacle, this is your shonen protagonist, only has 2 years to live. Actually, and he's supposed to die in the most horrific way possible. And most likely, he'll probably die before 2 years even come. So, it's freaking crazy.
You're not wrong.
So the guy that is supposed to be the protagonist, we have already been implanted in our minds, he's not the protagonist. Mm-hmm. But why I was talking about that was Chainsaw Man was the most anti-shonen that we ever have. When it comes to Hell's Paradise, I could see a little bit of that craziness where, yeah, this is a shonen, but okay, I
can see it in its fights. Like,
yeah,
the fights. In the fights, yeah. In all honesty. Yeah. I can see it in the fights. I can see it in the creature designs. Tell me I'm wrong. You saw that huge fish-looking dude, and you were like, what the heck is this?
And you know what? When it comes to most shonens, like, there's like a gang of people and stuff like that. Let's think of Naruto. It's always another enemy Naruto clan or whatever. My Hero Academia, we've seen the villains. We've seen the Nomus. Like, yeah, they're horrific, but they still have like a shonen-ness to them. Hunter x Hunter, unfortunately, I haven't watched it personally, but you know who the enemy is. Yeah. With this, it's literally just so grotesque, disgusting monsters that you're just kind of like, okay, this is new. And it's shonen. It's shonen. Another thing that makes this like, okay, it's a shonen, but there are some elements that aren't very shonen. Our protagonist. Mm-hmm. He is a young man, but he's not like, a teenager. Also,
not like how with most shonen protagonists
Naruto.
You would have Naruto. You got
Deku.
You got freaking Tanjiro.
You got Ichigo from Bleach.
You got Gon. You got,
They're all like young kids, single, in high school type. Gabimaru's a grown man who has a wife.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Sorry. It's the ending. It's
the fact of, he's like, yo, I just need to get home to my wife.
He wants to get home to his wife.
His only mission is just for him to get home to his wife. And it's just like, you're like, all right, cool. And then you get told, hey, yo, does she even exist though? And you're like, excuse me?
I think where he's just kind of like, does the wife even exist? You're just like, wait, what?
Like,
does the wife even exist? But no, so like, that's the crazy thing about it too, right? It's interesting. Shonen Jump or shonen anime is mostly marketed towards boys. Like, that's literally what shonen means, is young boy.
Yeah.
There is a community of females that watch this that are like all about the shipping and stuff like that. It's so interesting. And I feel like the Japanese, there's some mangakas out there that like when they're making shonen jumps, they're like, all right, we're going to create vague relationships just to spice up the shipping scene, because they know.
I'm pretty sure that most times some mangakas sit here and they're like, all right, what's the fan base
that's why freaking the whole ship between Deku and Ochako is so, it's like, yeah, it's there, but we're going to keep it kind of, but also Horikoshi even said, I don't know how to write romance.
Yeah, you gotta give it to him. At least he was like not gonna be like, I know how to write romance. He was like, nah, I'm good. I don't even know how to write.
But
romance.
It's so well implemented, the chemistry. But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, you can ship them. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's also other possibilities. But no, with this one, it's like, all right, the main protagonist already is in an established relationship.
Yeah.
Destroys the shipping scene because everyone's just kind of like, no, he should be with Shigiri. And I'm just like, shut up.
No, I should have got me Gabimaru with Sagiri.
No, I should have been with Yuzuriya. And I'm just like, no, you idiots, that's not the point. This man even said in episode 4, I'm a married man.
Like, not gonna lie, I remember reading that point at that part, and I was like, I already knew he has a wife.
Yeah.
But there's always that's like, there's always something in you, and you're just like, nah, you and Sagiri have good chemistry, though.
There is some chemistry, because he even said, like, there's something about you.
Yeah.
And the way that he says things like that, it's like, there's something about you that makes me realize that I'm human.
Exactly.
And I'm just kind of like, that's something that the protagonist would say to, like, their love interest.
Yeah.
And the fact that, everything about the wife is in flashback, and him learning how to become human through his wife, it's just kind of like, all right, so we know that there is that established relationship. This is how he's becoming more human, because all of his life he said, I'm Gabimaru the Hollow, I should be dead, there's no reason for me to be alive. That was what episode 1 was all about. But then we're just kind of like, all right, he's married, and through his wife he realized there's more to life than just constantly fighting, needing to assassinate people. There's more to life than just work.
Yeah. There
is a human element to life. So we're like, okay, his wife has established this and helped him realize this.
Because even
so why is
what you were saying in episode 1?
Yeah,
was like when Sagiri's like, because Gabimaru was like, why won't I die? He's like, you go and cut my neck, blade breaks. You sit there and try and burn me, I walk through the fire.
Yeah,
and he's like, I just want to die. Why can't I? And then Sagiri's like, because you still want to live. And he's like, I have no reason to live. He's like, just take me out. And then she's like, dude, your wife And then that's when it clicked. And he's like, I don't want to die. Yeah. I still want to see her. I just don't want to die in the process. And it's like, all right, now you have your reason for living. Now you just need to get the pardon and hopefully don't die in the process of...
But then they have interactions when they get onto the island and stuff like that. That is just kind of like, all right, so it's so weird because in your mind, okay, because I have been in the shipping. I know ships. I've been there. I've seen the ships and everything. And let's just say I kind of dabbled into some of the ships before. You know what I'm talking about. Persona 5. I have my canon ships and I have those ships. But
I've been there too. Not gonna lie.
But when you see the way that Sagiri and Gabimaru interacts, you're just kind of like, no, there is an established ship, but man, they're really pushing this one. I'm like, Gabimaru's a married man. No, that one scene from Toy Story 2, I'm a married spud. Move over. I'm not married. It's that stupid, like, I've seen it. I'm just like, Gabimaru's a married man. He's a married man. But because I do want, because there's that point of view of just like, okay, well, Sagiri's also learning from Gabimaru as well. I want her to find her happiness too, because she's learning that there's more, because she thinks herself weak because she can't handle the burden of killing and stuff like that.
It's also the fact of like, in the Yamada clan, only men were allowed to do the beheading. Yeah. And so they were like, every time Sagiri sat there and was like, yo, I want to take part in this. She's like, this looks cool. And then it's the fact of, not only is it for her, right? And so then her dad's like, oh, well, honey, you can take it easy. You don't have to stress yourself out. You don't have to do this, you know.
So I was going to save this rant later on for the episode, but we can do this now.
But, like, there's a point where, I'm going to let you get to yours in a minute.
I know.
But there's a point where, like, her dad is, like, trying to not make it harder on Sagiri. But he's like, you're a woman. You're only to him. I get where it's coming from. Yeah, and it's the fact of you like tradition states you are a woman. You are basically the head of the You are the next head of the Yamada clan. That means you need to find a husband, get married, and have kids.
Yep. And I'm just your whole purpose is to expand the Yamada
clan. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and everything, but I want to behead people. Why can't I do that?
She's like, I want to be strong. Like, exactly. I can do this.
And then throughout her whole journey, that's why I was telling you before how this whole Hell's Paradise as a whole is pretty much about finding yourself. You need to be both weak and strong, like Tao.
And I
knew I was going to be able to bring that back up.
You was going to bring in Tao in this somehow, because it is the main point of this series. But there's also, like, gender roles is also a thing in this series. And we can find it when it comes to the Lord Tensons. But let me go back to Sagiri for a moment. Mm-hmm. Her talk with Genji Dono.
Yeah,
Genji. Okay, so I'm not gonna stick on this high horse because I don't want people to be like, oh my god, are those your views? Shut up.
Is that how you view our comment section?
She's always saying this because... Shut up. Anyway, no. But I got really upset, and I understand because these are the points of views. Like, this is following the times. Mm-hmm. Back then, women were seen as the ones to procreate and spread the clan. Mm-hmm. They are meant to stay at home because men do the fighting. Men do the fighting, they do all the hard work, but the women need to stay at home and raise the kids so that the next generation can go on. I understand that point of view and stuff like that. just the way, woman, the way you said that, I was just kind of like, what? Let me get out this chair. But no, it's the fact that she's trying to fight against that point of view. Mm-hmm. And that's a very modern way for women to think. Like, I'm trying to think how anime has kind of evolved.
In a way, it kind of, let me say it like this. In a way, anime kind of has evolved due to how many female characters can we actually say get genuine development? Like, not in the sense of, oh, we're gonna only develop them for the plot, or, oh, we're just gonna, 2-year time skip, 3-year time skip, we don't see what the heck happens off screen, and then they come back, they're a totally different person.
Well, okay, so a couple examples of, like, women actually developing, and us seeing it a lot nowadays. What's her name? From Bleach. Rika? The one who helps Ichigo. The one who gave him the powers to become part of the society.
The Soul Society?
The Soul Society. Rika.
No, Rika. No, oh my god.
See?
I haven't watched... I'm going to say this now. I haven't actually watched Bleach. As much of a fan as I am of anime, I haven't touched Bleach.
I tried to get into Bleach, but that was like 8 years ago.
I haven't watched
I can't
Bleach.
remember, but I do know her name starts with an R.
Mm-hmm. I haven't watched Bleach since I was a kid.
But like her...
but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, she's developed.
Yes.
But let's see some more examples. Ochiko.
I mean, kind of.
She's kind of developed.
Kind of, but it's like
the main focus, of course, is on Deku.
Yeah, it's more or less like, okay, this is the love interest. We got to give her some development in that time. Yeah. In that way, it's more of like, okay, let's give the love interest some.
And she does develop a bit on screen.
Yeah,
but
like. Talking about, like, like with Sagiri, where it's actually, like, physically.
Yeah.
Like, you
because Sagiri,
see...
she does learn new things. Mm-hmm. She thought herself weak because she comes at this from an emotional standpoint. She is like, it's hard to carry the burden. The burden weighs me down. It's my fear of that burden that keeps me from helping these people pass. Mm-hmm. While, she looks at Gabimaru, and Gabimaru's just kind of like... I'm not in fear of the burden. It's, man, how am I gonna... It's like, man, the heavy burden I'm now gonna have to carry because I have to kill these people.
Yeah.
There's two different mindsets. And she's
it's always
learning.
The fact of, when we first meet Sagiri and Gabimaru, and she's like, the blade tells you what's hidden inside. And it's that point of when... Because even when Sagiri looks into her own blade, and then she's like... You can see that she's struggling.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact of, okay, you need to overcome the struggle your own way. You can't brute force it. Mm. You have to figure out your own way. It's not like, oh, hey, here's a little tidbit. I can give you a nugget of information. You can go on about your your whole journey.
Yeah.
It's not like that. So, like, the thing Sagiri has to do is she literally has to figure it out. And she goes... I'm going to fight for what I believe in.
Yeah.
And then
I'm fighting for the path that I want to follow.
Exactly. And that's why I like the way how they visualized it by having the crashing waves being your doubt, everything that you're struggling with. And so she said, I just need to calm down. And once she breathed, everything stilled. And then she found her way, and she was like, I will become the middle way. I'm going to do what I need to do while also helping out the convicts as well.
Yeah, this might not be the traditional way, but it's still the way that I want to follow. Even with her argument with Genjin, where he was just kind of like, this is, the sword is the heart of the samurai. One can acquire it on the field and stuff like that. And he was going on about it through, like, this is the man's way and stuff like that. You can quit this mission, go home, live comfortably at your house, find a man, make more for the Yamada clan and stuff like that. you should go home and live a woman's life. Mm-hmm. Where so far in the series, we've seen ways that, okay, some people has not been given that choice of living the women's life that are women,
right? Because like Yuzuriha is like, because she's a Konoichi, and for her and Gabimaru, they live on two opposite ends. Yep. And so literally for her, it's like, okay, look, I have a younger sister who is critically ill. Yeah. And so she doesn't get to live the womanly life. She literally has to jump in to the man's position and sit there and try and support not only her, but her sister as well. And
then we have Gabimaru's wife herself. Mm-hmm. Her father took away that, I forgot the exact reason of why he burned her face. I know he burned her face. There was a reason for it. Because she said you aren't going to live.
It was like she spoke out of turn. And he had said something to her, and she was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he was like, all right. And so he sat there and, burned her. And he was like, all right. So he was like, no one's ever going to love you after this. Yeah. And so he burned the side of her face. And then he was like, all right, Gabimaru, here's my daughter. And you were going to marry her. Yep. And then there's a thing where it's like, all right, you two are gonna be married, and then everyone in the Iroquois village is like, oh, he's gone soft. My boy's gone soft. Look at him.
Oh my God. So, but going back to but like my boy's going soft. No, he's becoming human. You bingus.
Everyone was like, "Oh, you got a wife now. You've gone soft. You're killing antennas." Luster. But it's like
technically the marriage was arranged, but whatever, dickheads.
But everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's gone soft. We can. His time's coming, boys." And then it's sad. Yeah. To say the least.
And I think even Gabimaru.
It's not even. It's not only, let me say that, let me rephrase that. It's not only with Gabimaru. It's with Gabimaru, it's with Tenza, it's with Tenza, it's with Shion, it's with almost every person that we meet, including Senta, including Yuzuriha, including Narugai, finally remembered her name.
Narugai, oh yeah, Narugai-kun.
It's even with the Asa brothers, Chobi and Toma, yeah. And even with them, and it's like every person, no matter where they come from, they can at least do either a little bit of good. Even though you went down a bad route,
they can still
still do some good before your time is up.
But I wanted to...
Sorry.
No. I completely get it. But I think even... I just wanted to go back on this point and then we'll continue on. But I think even Gabimaru said, when it comes to the woman's life and the people in his village that he grew up in with the... I forgot his clan's name.
Inagakure.
The Inagakure. He's like, the women are just cattle.
Pretty much, yeah.
I remember him saying that. I think it was probably episode 1. And I was just kind of like, dang. And then one more example... we haven't talked about the Lord Tenzin yet. Mm-hmm. Or wait, Tenzin. And because they're a special, because we've seen it where they just the lesbians. I found the lesbians.
When you want to explain that for them, remember this is also an audio format. You gotta explain yourself here.
I have found the lesbians, but no. So the Tenzins are the quote unquote gods of Hell's Paradise, this particular island that we are on. And turns out they're not really gods. They're a creation, experiments made by this one person. And we'll find out more about it. Actually, we've been given the name drop, Lord Ren. But anyway, so these beings, mm-hmm. the reason why they're seen as godlike is because one, the inhabitants of the island, the village that used to be there, would say they are the perfect being, basically immortal, because we've seen that they cannot die by easy means.
Yeah, because it's... I like the way how they describe the Tenzin, because literally to a lower class, and if you view it in a class system, the people who lived on in the island, I was about to say in the Hodai Island. Yeah. in the island, they were literally the lower class. Yeah. And Tenzin all the way up up here.
And they're known as class. High class hermits.
Yeah. And thank you. I was trying to figure out the name. I almost called them turtles.
Turtles.
But yeah, they're high class hermits. Yeah. I almost was like, hermits? Are they nerds?
That nerd! But
since they're viewed as high class, but then it's like, because even when the dude actually gets to know about what is actually going on, and he's like, hey, yo, they're here for the elixir, for the elixir of life. Yeah. And, there is like, oh yeah, that doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, they're just like, that's non-existent.
They're like, oh, it's been called many names. It's been called this. It's been called this. Oh, but most of you humans like to call it the elixir of life. We don't have it. We don't have it. This is literally just a laboratory so that we can turn you people into Tao. Into Tan. And then, yeah. Tan, it's the same thing.
It's the Japanese pronunciation because of the A. I'm sorry. No, I studied Japanese.
It's good because they reference not only Japan but also China mythology as well.
Well, yeah, because I was going to get to that. Actually, I looked into this. So with the Tenzin, it's based off of the Chinese mythology of the 8 powerful hermits. Mm. And Mei is one of the names. Each name of the hermits is based off of the 8 mythical hermits. Mei,
Taufa, Tofa.
The reason why their names sound like that, and you're like, wow, that's not really a Japanese name, because it's Chinese.
That makes sense, though.
And Mei is one of the powerful hermits from the actual real life Chinese equivalents of the 8 powerful hermits.
Okay.
But going back to that, so the Tenzin, like I've said, they are based off of an actual Chinese mythological thing. Mm-hmm. The whole concept of this island is that someone's trying to create their own religion. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Tenzin come in, because if you know about Taoist religion, mm-hmm. you know about the yin and yang side, the yin and yang symbol, where...
I've talked about that one time and never went back.
And everyone's just kind of like, what? It is a baffling thing, but even when Mei was talking about it, weak and strong at the same time. And I'm just kind of like, it's a very confusing concept to explain. Mm-hmm. But the Tenzin, the reason why they're seen as perfect beings is because they have both yin and yang, which they represented as male and female.
Which literally also is a good representation of yin and yang, too, when we were talking about the yin and yang symbol.
And actually, there is an interesting reason why the weak spot is the belly, and I'll explain this here in a second, because it does deal with Taoist religion. Mm-hmm. But so, with these beings, there's a reason why they can turn into men and women. Because like I said, they contain both yin and yang. And I think in the real life religion equivalent, I think yin is the female equivalent, while yang...
Yes. Yin is female, while yang is male.
Yeah, yang is male. And to have both in harmony, that would be creating the perfect thing. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to create that because, there is one in one being and one in the other. It is seen as almost impossible to have both in one person or in one thing. So that's why they're seen as perfect beings, and that's why they can fluctuate between male and female. and that's why we have that whole the sex. Wait, what do they call it? What do they call it in the anime? Doshi or whatever.
No, they call it. It was called Budo. It was called Boshujutsu.
Yeah, it's Boshujutsu, which is sex.
I was just gonna say that it was literally just the male and female just coming together in order to further the creation of Tao. I wasn't gonna go that route.
This anime is actually all about sex. But anyway. But no. Oh, it's the disgusting thing that those men wanted to do to May. And I was like, they're helping us with our training. She's helping us with our training. Shut up. You just want to have sex with the young girl. And she's a young girl.
Technically, she's not.
Well, okay, so she's lived thousands of years. She's actually born.
It's the fact that I'm going to do a little bit of... I'm keeping myself thin here.
Yeah.
So, May can, just like how the Tenzin can, they switch forms every now and again. May, before, when it was May and Ram, May...
Wait. Is this in the manga?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Was this in season 1?
No. That's why I'm saying keeping myself thin here.
Okay. Continue.
So, May was an adult at one point. I'm leaving it at that.
And I can tell because the fact that she was able to age up within a split second. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what made me think, okay, yeah. That's why I thought she was part of the Tenzin. Because one, she suspiciously has some power. She's able to do the same things that they can do. Yeah. Yeah. So, and
because, she's able to do that, and it's just like, what? Like, hold up. You're allied with the enemy. Yeah. Because then, that's what you're thinking when you first see her.
But so, yeah, when it was revealed that she was actually part of the Tenzin, and even the, I forgot, the Doshi?
The Doshin are the little squid-looking...
The insect guys. Yeah. Even the Doshin has even confirmed that, she was born along with the Tenzin, but she was considered a failure because she only contained yin within her body. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Which there are, because I'm not gonna, in my notes I put, the anime does skip a lot. Yeah. Not gonna lie.
Because I think you even told me this, because you said there were some scenes that were different.
Because, the anime skips a lot. I can't remember if when they were talking about when the Doshin were trying to bring back May, and they kept calling her Lady May and everything. Yeah. I can't remember if they actually showed what happened.
They don't... Well, they showed that she was cut, and that Lord Tenzin said... we can either put you down like a dog, or you can live on and help the Doshin with their training.
Okay, so that
he did mention that.
So okay, that was what was.
And the only visual that we saw was that she was cut, and that's where that scar on her back is.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to make sure that was still in the anime, because remember it's been a minute since I've actually watched it.
Yeah, that was in the anime.
That's in the anime, and it's also in the manga. I just wanted to make sure that was all right. And so when that happens, I was like, that ain't good. Mm-hmm. And then it's then because it makes me think back to when the whole bath scene when Gabimaru was talking with May. And he literally tells her, hey, don't be afraid of the scar. He said, I know a woman who has a scar across her face, and she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Yeah. Talking about his wife, obviously. Yeah. And, I was like, that's something for anyone to take in. Because it's we all have scars. Yeah. Whether you can physically see them or they're
They're mental, yeah.
Yeah. And it's oh, well, I want to get with this person, but I'm scared because of all the physical or the emotional stuff that I'm going through. And it's just you can't sit there and put yourself off, because that moment's gonna go, just right past.
More like life continues. You just have to learn how to wear your scars.
Exactly.
So I know, unfortunately, we are getting close to the end of this episode, but I want to talk about a few more points and then an interesting point in my perspective. So when it comes to the Tenzin, because they are actually really, really interesting, not just because of the sex that they but no, I mean, surprisingly, this anime is super, super sexual, and it's the fact that I'm just kind of like, this
I wouldn't say that. Not all that much. Okay, remember, like I said, it has been a minute. So, from what I have experienced, what
we have seen, there is straight up lesbian scene right there where they eat the apple and then they do all that. I'm just kind of like, this was streamed on Prime TV. This was on TV. And then when the Doshin was explaining the bee thing, the Buddha.
Yeah.
I'm just calling
it the jutsu.
The Buddha jutsu, whatever it is. When he was explaining all that, it legitimately just showed the Tenzin having their little, what we'll just call it a party. Showing their little, they paired up. Some were men, some were women. They paired up accordingly. Mind you, there is 7 of them. There's a reason. May. But, so they paired up and they were dancing.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. But they showed that. And I'm just kind of like, this was shown on TV. Also, very interesting character design. So like I said, the Tenzin would fluctuate between male and female. Mm-hmm. Oh, they ain't got no nipples. Because there were multiple times where the Tenzin would show up in like a male form, and they'll be like half shirts. You know how anime men be, and just like, yeah, that's normal. Then they'll change it to their women's side, and then they just develop breasts, and you're like, she ain't got no nipples. And I'm just like, this was shown on TV. There were multiple times I was watching this and I was like, this was shown on TV. I didn't get past the violence and everything. I've seen violence on TV at this point. We've all seen 400. We know what happens there.
I was thinking back to the fight.
We've seen Berserk.
We've seen Berserk. I was thinking back to the fight that Gabimaru had with one of the Tenzin.
Yeah.
When he was entering the gate of Hodai.
Yeah.
And there was a point where the Tenzin looks, it's the same one that took out Tenza.
Yeah, oh my god.
And when she comes down and she just looks at Gabimaru and she's like,
please leave.
She's like, can you just leave?
Yeah,
like literally, can you just leave? I've already dealt with one of you today. And then I'm just like, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, what do you mean you? And then I stopped out like, you killed Tenzo.
And then you remember?
And then it was interesting, just the fact of, Gabimaru sitting there, putting the hands on him.
Yeah.
And then, the Tenzin just went like, all right, now I actually gotta, get serious. Turns into his muscular form. And I'm just like, oh no.
Oh no. Oh wait, before I forget.
And it's also interesting that when they actually transform, not being male or female, but when they actually transform into a monster form, it's literally a flower.
Yeah, because that's what they are. They're based off of flowers. So actually, I wanted to say this one thing. So there is more of a reason as to why they've explained it a little bit, but they've more or less kind of twisted around because they're plant-like, it's all about the organs of a plant.
Yeah.
But actually, in Chinese Taoist religion, so how I'm going to go back to alchemy. You know about the Philosopher's Stone. Mm-hmm. You know how that's supposed to be the key to life and everything and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In Taoist tradition, you are the key. The Philosopher's Stone is within you. You just have to find a way to cultivate it within yourself. So that's why
they're using all those different.
Yeah. Because it's different meditation poses and hand signs from Buddha, from Confucianism, Taoist. It's all that. But it's supposed to be like the pot of life is within you. So everything that goes on within you, your chi, as like they call it Tan. No. Tao. They call it Tao. Yeah. And I forgot exactly what Tao, the reason why they're just like, wow, okay. So Tao is like the waves that Shion can see. It's like the chi that comes from Yuzuriha's
That's why
village.
When, because literally it's what Dofa was saying. Dofa was the one that they were fighting.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you really know how to harness your Tao. Because, you know, when Yuzuriha used her substitution, he was like, "Oh, okay, you can hone your Tao a lot more." Yeah. And then it's not only that, but Yuzuriha says, "In my village, we call it chi."
Yeah.
So for different places, it's different things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use anime here, obviously.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, chi. Kai. Whatever you want to call it.
In Naruto,
chakra.
Yep. That's that is chi. It's known as chi. Well, I know it as chi when it comes to Taoist religions. Now, maybe Tao is another pronunciation of it or something completely different. Like I said, this is a mixture of cultures.
Exactly. And it's made evidently so by what Senta was saying.
But the reason why it was so important that it's directly above the navel, that is where you're in actual Taoist religion. That is where the pot of life, or I think the seed of life, is supposed to be at, is in your core. So that's why the weak spot. That's what I was gonna say. Their weak spot. Their weak spot is right there.
That's really interesting. I'm not saying anything else other than that's really interesting because
I'm sure I was like,
literally just sparked something in my head.
You just got I've read this
later on in this book. In this.
The creator of this
Yuji Kaku, you did a really good job.
He probably studied Taoist religions, Confucianism, and stuff like that.
I think the next one that he worked on was what was it? It was Ayashimon. Ayashimon was a really good one. It didn't sell too well though.
Wow.
So it got canceled pretty quickly.
I'm gonna have to find it.
Oh yeah, you definitely are. It's really good.
But so one more thing I wanted to talk about before we end today's episode is voice actor. Specifically Gabimaru's voice actor, English voice actor.
Okay, I was about to be like, where are you going with it? You going with the English or you going with the
I didn't even watch the Japanese one.
I watched both.
I've only seen the English one this time. So it's interesting. So we are in a world now where we have VTubers and stuff like that. It is very interesting that it seems like a lot of English voice actors are starting up VTubing careers and stuff like that. And some VTubers are becoming voice actors themselves. Yeah. Interesting little combo we got going on here. We know the voice actor of Gabimaru. Some know him as Kagi. Some know him as Sayu. Some also know him... Most people who know him by his professional name, Alejandro Sad. We know the man, the myth, the man, the legend. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's very interesting to me. Because I now really know him as Sayu, because I watch a lot of his TikToks as Sayu. Yeah. I watch some of his streams. I know him as Sayu. Yeah. And seeing... Now that I have a more... I don't want to say parasocial, but I see Gabimaru's voice actor as who he is in real life, and seeing the type of person that he can produce when he's working is very interesting. Gabimaru is just, he's so, seeing him not be very, knowledgeable about social norms is very interesting because you just look at Sayu, who's very, when he's not working, when he's, not playing a character, just being himself, extremely charismatic,
oh, yeah.
like outgoing, tells bad jokes.
Yes, that much is a
like, you know that there is a bee out there that doesn't produce honey, it produces milk. You know what it's called? Boobies.
I remember that.
I know. It's just when you remember, it's just interesting now because I feel like I have more of a connection to some voice actors. Because, I mean, back then, when you think of voice actors, we only just know them by the characters that they play as.
Or unless you actually go to a convention.
Unless you go to a convention and you meet them. Like Vic Mignogna is who you met.
I've met a couple, actually.
But, like, I can't...
But yeah, Vic was one of them. And then,
like, I can't even begin to tell you about anything when it comes to the voice of All Might. Because I only see him as the characters that he plays as.
Exactly.
I have a hard time disconnecting him from his characters, while this is an interesting opposite reaction when it comes to this, because I have a hard time seeing Gabimaru as Gabimaru because I know Sayu.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so much of him.
Exactly.
And that goes with some other voice actors, like Amelie. Like, when I remembered that Amelie was one of the voice actors of the Penguins from Kimono Friends, I'm just kind of like, you mean the Queen of Scuff? She's a freaking idol inside of an anime? What?
See, because like, for me, I only knew about Amelie through her music.
Yeah.
And so... that was the only way how I actually... because, like, when you told me, you were like, hey, yo, did you know that Amelie voiced in Kimono Friends? I'm like, nah. And then, that's why it was funny, because when you were like, yo, did you know Amelie voiced in Kimono Friends? Mind you, we're having this conversation over the phone, so I immediately send you a song from Amelie. I'm like, you mean this Amelie? And you're like, yeah. I was like...
and that's why when I showed you the bloopers, they were just like, you're the only one that can help us, Amelie. You're the one who has 5 million subscribers on YouTube. She's like, oh my god, who set you guys up with this? But now that, I know Amelie as Monarch, and seeing her react, and you're just kind of like, she plays all these people. She wants to be the villain so badly, but then you just remember she's, in honesty, she's just a gigantic goofball in real life. So, I'm just saying that we are starting to get into that world where maybe more voice actors can create, like, a fan base outside of their work. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how Sayu did. Like, one of my biggest things, one of the reasons why I wanted to watch Hell's Paradise was because Sayu was the voice actor of the main character.
Mm-hmm. It's taken me a long time to call him Sayu instead of Kagi.
I know, because you know him as Kagi Films.
I know him as Kagi, because before Kagi became Sayu, I watched all of his stuff. From him doing impersonations or doing impressions of other anime characters. Or there was the one time that he was like, hey, I'm really thinking... because he would, like, literally, when Kagi would just get on camera just talk. Yeah. And it's literally like, hey, he's talking to you. And it's like, he's like, yo, I'm thinking about getting into voice acting. And then he'd be like, all right, I'm not going to upload for probably a couple months or two. Then he would come back a couple months later and be like, hey, yo, so I haven't been here for a couple months. And then he'll be like, but here's what's been going on. Yeah. And then there was one time he was sitting there and he was like, doing impersonations. He's like, I'm going to do impersonations of my hero characters. And I was like, that's interesting, but go ahead. And so he starts doing he was like, first he was doing Deku, and then he was doing All Might, and then he was doing Bakugo. Yeah. And then when it got to All Might's, friend, and then Kagi just straight up just did his voice, I still thought he was doing impersonations. But then he literally said, if you didn't catch it, I am the voice of All Might's best friend. Yeah. And I was like, yo, my boy Kagi got an actual role. I was like, good on you. Yeah. And, so I was like content. I was happy.
He's like, this is peak.
I was like, because he was always talking, because he was like, I want to do music. I want to do voice acting. My dude even has his own band called Weeby.
Yeah. And I've heard some of his stuff.
I'm like, all right, cool. And then, so slowly trying to get into him being Sayu, because it's still me trying to...
In your head, he's still Kagi.
He's still Kagi. And so it's like, I get... The last video he ever posted to his YouTube channel for Kagi was, saying, this is going to be it for Kagi for a long time.
But I'm not going away. I'm just being excited.
And he even said, he was like, I'm just going to do VTubing. He was like, I'm kind of feeling a little bit stressed out at the moment. He was like, if I do VTubing, I can, generally be myself and everything. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm happy for you. And then, I was like, it's going to take me take me some time.
Take you some time to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so most times, like, if I'm on YouTube, like, I'll stumble upon, like, in my feed, I'll see, like, oh, here's something from Sayu. And I was like, okay, let me look at it. So sometimes it'll be him and Monarch playing. Like, one time I was watching them playing It Takes Two. And so I was like, okay, cool. So
their whole interaction every
right.
day.
And so
the day that they do an anime together, I'm just going to be like, in my whole head, it'd be like, ooh, Sayu gets support.
All I'm going to picture is them being like, yeah, it was your fault. We're the best. I remember they were playing It Takes Two. I know I'm going on a tangent.
No.
But I remember they were playing It Takes Two. And so they made up this whole lore about how, because how in It Takes Two, it's literally about...
It's about
the mom and dad literally, about to divorce and the daughter's trying to get them back together. So they made this whole lore about how they're sitting at the dinner table while this whole thing's going down.
Oh my
God.
And
they're like, they look at the daughter and they go, oh, that mom and dad are getting a divorce because of you.
Oh,
my gosh.
It's like, how can you say that to a girl?
And so, if they ever do a role together in an anime, that's how I'm going to view them as. And I'm just like, oh, no, the twins are at it again.
Because, that's my whole thing is, I don't know if this is going to develop into something more, but this is a trend that I actually kind of like, where I feel like I'm getting more connected, because I've never been to an anime convention. So I don't feel connected to the voices. I feel connected to the characters, not the voices.
Exactly.
With this one, I do like Gabimaru. I still feel connected to him as a character, but because I also know who his voice is, I feel connected to the voice actor.
Yeah.
So if this is a trend that's going to start happening where voice actors are going to actually start creating like an actual, system outside of their characters, go for it. I want to see more of this. There's a couple of content creators that I listen to because they do like voice acting stuff, not voice acting, but they voice out scenarios and stuff like that. And they create their own stories. And a lot of them are just kind of like, I would like to get into voice acting professionally. I really want to be like, freaking go for it. Because you have a good voice. You know how to get a good range. Get with an agency. Get with anime. Anime is a really good way because we are now witnessing a new wave of voice actors. The old voices from back then, they're retiring. They're going for more older roles. We still have new anime coming out. We still have fresh voices that need to be done and stuff like that. Yeah. I've seen this happening sometimes when we look up just random voices, where I'm just like, who's the voice of Haru? And she's only done like a couple of roles.
Right, yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, okay, wow, so she's new in the industry. Who did the voice of, the other day where we were talking about...
Oh, we were talking about Chobe.
We were talking about Chobe. And I was like, he sounds so much like Bakugo. He's not Bakugo.
Exactly.
But we find out like this was his first more famous role and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so he's a fresh new voice in the industry. This is exciting to me because they're already doing really good work.
I feel like they're taking a page. Give me a second here.
No, you're good. And Erica, the one who voiced from Takemi from Persona 5. She actually does.
I think that wasn't that like her first.
It was like
you're good.
It was her first really big role because Takemi made her famous, but she also is gathering up a fan base outside of voice acting. Robbie Damon.
Yep.
You know how much I freaking love Robbie Damon.
Yes, I know.
Like I found out about him through Akechi, of course, because
And then when I sat, like one day when we had to do a recording session for, I forget what anime it was, but I remember I was watching Volume 9 of Ruby, and I had told you, I was like, hey, did you know Robbie Damon voices in Ruby? And you were like, nah. And then, I'm just like, it's Robbie. And then you came in and it was in like a high freaking fight scene, and then all you heard Robbie say was, that's perfect. And then you just lost it.
So I know this was like a little bit of a tangent, but I am enjoying the fact that I'm now starting to be able to be one of those people where I can kind of match voices, but now I understand the person behind the voice.
It's like when
not just know them because they played this character.
Exactly. It's like when you actually sit there and listen to a voice, you not only is it like, like when you see the credits roll, it's not like, oh, yeah, and it's not like when they show credits and then show the person's face next to it. Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, so you have Alejandro stuff. You're like, yep, know him.
That's Sayu.
Exactly. And then it's not like you, like, oh, this person, and then you're just like, well, who are they? Yeah. Who are they? And it's like, when you actually hear them, you're like, that's you. You actually see their image in the...
There's a difference between me saying, okay, so the voice of America from Italia, his name was like Eric Hayden or something like that. I'm like, okay, so he's also the voice of Canada from Italia. He's also, I think he did something with Gundams and stuff like that. Like, if I was talking about Eric Hayden, I would only talk about which characters he played as. While if someone's gonna be like, Gabimaru is like, oh, that's Sayu. He does VTubing, he does this, and this. I know personally about him. Like, not just characters.
If you were to tell me, hey, Alejandro Saab, or in this case, Sayu, I would sit there and tell you, oh yeah, I know him because he voices Gabimaru. He voiced as one of the people in JoJo.
But you can also say...
so like, I'd basically give you almost an entire rap sheet of...
But, like, you can say, like, these are the characters he plays as, but he also has a band, he does VTubing, he's a goofball, he loves telling bad jokes, like, you just know him more as a person.
Exactly.
But, yeah, so that's what I kind of want to see more of, is just voice actors creating a fan base outside of their jobs. Yeah. Like, showing more about themselves.
The last thing I'm gonna say is, to anyone, like, whether you want to be a voice actor, an author, an artist, a comic book writer, or whatever, go for it. Yeah. Like, from us, from a dude who wrote a book. Yes, I wrote a book. It's called Not Human.
I'm about to say, if you see it in the background, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the background.
Yeah. But coming from someone who is now an author, and someone who is an artist who literally does majority of our work for YouTube.
I'm about to say, I do a lot of work for YouTube.
From us to you, like, just do it. Like, it's gonna be scary. Like, not gonna lie.
In the words of Sagiri, follow your own path. Take the middle path.
In the words of Genji, become the middle way.
We have to, because, like, we did go off of a tangent away from Hell's Paradise, but, I mean, it still relates back to it. Yeah. Find your own way. Don't let people tell you what to do.
Yeah. If you want to do something, figure it out, do some research into it, and do it. Every step is going to be hard, but you literally need to take that first step through the door in order to figure out what you need to do.
Yep. But on that note... we really must be going because we have gone a bit over time here. Yeah. So this will be a longer episode. But we ended off on an inspiring note. Yeah. So with that, thank you all for coming.
And we hope...
wait.
Oh, yeah. We are putting this on... I forget. It's been a minute since we've done this, all right?
I know. Like, comment, and subscribe. What was your favorite part about Hell's Paradise?
Yeah. What's your favorite part about Hell's Paradise?
And are you excited to see how they're going to animate the rest of the series?
Also, what would you like to see from us?
Yes. we want to take more. We want to start taking suggestions from like the comment section when it comes to what anime we talk about, because a lot of this is we choose our anime, and we still have a list of anime we want to go through together. But we are gonna hopefully start a new thing here soon, where maybe we can take some people's suggestions online. One of us goes through it, and we can talk about it with each other.
Yeah. I mean, like, that would be interesting. So then we can at least also gauge what you guys want to see, and then it's not just us, and it's not just us just picking something and being like, yeah, we can do this.
We can talk about this. It's still relevant. People are talking about Hunter x Hunter, aren't they? They're talking about Berserk, right? Alright, but thank you all for stopping by.
And we hope you've enjoyed your visit to
the Underground Geek Shack. See you guys.